Hey y'all, welcome back. So in today's video, I'm gonna be sharing 3 recipes perfect for your Easter meal coming up this weekend, but really these would be great for any time, for spring, for summer coming up, gatherings, barbecues, whatever it is, you're gonna wanna try these recipes. All right, while he is slicing our potatoes, we're gonna go ahead and start the cheese sauce. So to a saucepan, I'm just gonna add some butter. Of course, we'll have the recipe either typed out or linked down below. We're also gonna whisk in 3 tablespoons of flour and half a teaspoon of salt. Give it a minute just to get that raw flour taste cooked out. Next, going in our cheese sauce, I have about 2 cups of whole milk. Just gonna pour it in, continue to whisk. All right, so next I just have my little baking dish. You can use an 8x8. I'm not sure what this is, but it's a smaller baking dish. Give it a little spray. So we're just gonna add a few potatoes and then a slice of onion, a little onion ring. A few more potatoes, slice of onion. Obviously, if you're not an onion fan, you might want to skip out on the onion, but this recipe will probably be just as good without it. I'm going to continue to do that until we have our whole baking dish filled up. All right, you can see our sauce is starting to thicken up, but we are making a cheese sauce, so we're going to need some cheese. So right here we have 1.5 cups of cheese. This is just some sharp cheddar as well as some pepper jack. You can use really whatever kind of cheeses you want. Gruyere cheese would also be really, really good in this dish. We're just going to dump that in, then stir. This will only take a couple minutes for that cheese to melt down. Most delicious little cheese sauce for our scalloped potatoes. All right, so before we add our sauce, I'm just gonna sprinkle with a little bit of seasoning. This is just the Kinder's, the blend, which is just salt, pepper, and garlic. Just add a little bit of that right on top of everything. Pour all that yummy cheese all over. Get it nice and coated, all down in there. All right, so we're just gonna get this covered with foil. I already have the oven preheated to 400, and these are gonna bake about 80 to 90 minutes until those potatoes have time to get nice and soft. All right, so for this corn casserole, it's a little bit different. We're actually not gonna use any Jiffy in this recipe, which makes it different than any corn casserole I've tried before. But here's a quick look at the ingredients we are gonna use. So let's put this together. I'm so excited to try this. All right, so we're gonna start with the blender today. We're gonna take one of those bags of corn. We have been letting these sit out all morning, so they are pretty much thawed out. And we're just gonna add 1 bag of corn. We're also gonna add some butter, just a little bit of sugar, and we're also gonna add in 2 eggs. Now the recipe says just to pulse everything just a couple times, just until your corn is basically creamed. We're just gonna get it transferred over into our mixing bowl. So next to our mixture, we're gonna add our other bag of corn. This is just the regular whole kernel corn. And although this recipe does not use Jiffy, it is really just as easy to throw together. Next, I have some sharp cheddar cheese here. We're gonna add about 1 cup to the mixture. Probably gonna add a little bit more than that. That does not look like enough cheese to me. We're gonna add all of this and then put a little bit more on top. We also have, I think this was about 5 strips of bacon that I went ahead and cooked up earlier. We chopped. We're gonna add that in as well. And this is a recipe from Plain Chicken, so I'm gonna have it typed out below. But apparently this recipe is really, really good. It said that it's good for, barbecues, potlucks. And we love the corn casserole with just the Jiffy, the sour cream, the butter, and the corn. So I cannot wait to give this variation a try. All right, now I'm just gonna bring over my 9x13. Let me grab my cooking spray, give it a little spray real quick. Add in our corn mixture. Looks so good. How can you really go wrong with corn, cheese, and bacon, right? Get it all spread out. All right, I'm gonna scour my fridge and find some more cheese because you can't ever go wrong with more cheese. I'm pretty sure this is either Monterey or white sharp cheddar. Either way, it'll be good. So So let's just top it with a little bit more. You can never go wrong with corn casserole, pretty much for any holiday. All right, that's probably good. So we already have the oven on 350. This is only gonna take about 30 minutes to bake. Let's get it in the oven. So one thing we tend to always have in our family when we're having a gathering, especially if we're having some type of pork, whether that's ribs, Easter ham, whatever it is, we always have collard greens. So today I'm gonna share our family recipe. It's super easy to make. You don't have to worry about making a stock beforehand. I don't use any smoked meats, but we do use a different kind of meat to flavor it. It's just really easy, all together in one pot. You kind of throw everything in there together and it still comes out having a lot of flavor. So let's show you how to make these collard greens. All right, so the way I like to chop my collard greens, obviously you have a big stem down the middle. I just fold them over in half. Bring them down here to a cutting board. You can either tear them or just cut them. I find it easier just to cut them right along that stem. If you like stems, leave them in. If you don't, do it this way. Kind of pile those up. I'm gonna go along and do each one. Once I have a little stack about that many, I'll just start rolling all of my collard greens together. Roll them kind of tightly. Then grab my knife, and I like to cut them in about 1 inch little pieces, not too tiny, but not too big either. That, of course, is personal preference. Them all chopped up. And then I have a big old bowl over here. I'll throw them all in the bowl and do the same thing until I get all of these chopped up. Now I need to clean them really well. So I'm just gonna fill up my bowl with some cold water. Get these collards completely covered. Swish them around as you're filling them up here. And that's basically all we're gonna do. We're gonna fill these up, swish them around, dump the water out, probably about 3 or 4, maybe 5 times until the water looks like it's cleaner. Because at first it's gonna look really green and kind of dirty. These from the grocery store might be pretty clean actually, but if you're getting homegrown greens or anything like that, they'll be pretty dirty because they grow out of the ground. All right, we're just gonna bring these over here, slosh them around a little bit. I really need to start wearing aprons. They're actually pretty clean, believe it or not. And then all you do, bring them over to your sink, kind of hold them in there and pour out the water. We'll rinse them one more time, but those did look pretty clean, so that's all you do until your greens look nice and clean. For these collard greens, we're actually gonna start with some country ham. Instead of traditionally boiling down like neck bones or smoked turkey of any kind, this is super easy and it's so flavorful too. So this is a 0.6 ounce little package. All right, so in that pack, there's about 4 good sized pieces. And country ham is very salty, so I'm not gonna quite use all of those. We're just gonna go with 3 pieces. And I'm just gonna go ahead and chop this all up into kind of little bite-sized pieces. All right, so I have my large pot here, and normally I would use, and you can use half a stick to a stick of butter. We're gonna use half a stick, but I also have some bacon grease over here that I'm gonna add as well. It's just gonna add flavor. But if you don't have bacon grease, then, you know, maybe use a stick of butter. And we're just gonna add all of this country ham to the bottom of the pot. We're gonna let that butter melt down and let our country ham just saute just for a couple minutes before we add our greens in. But at this point you could add onion, garlic if you want to, whatever kind of seasonings, but I'm telling you, this is just a very simple, I don't know, kind of down home way. This is the way my family cooks them, and they're so good. All right, so now we brought our greens over. I'm just gonna go ahead and get these all in the pot. And if you don't know anything about greens, these are gonna cook way down. Just kind of pack them in. We do need some room for some water, so I'm gonna leave a little bit of room. We're just gonna add our water. Oops. All right, so as you can see, they are not quite covered. Since they are gonna cook down, I don't want too much water in here to dilute the flavor too much. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on them. I added about 6 cups of water so far, just to give y'all a measurement. Now I'm just gonna put a lid on them, and these are gonna simmer anywhere from, depending on how tender you like them. I like mine really tender, so at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half. We're just gonna kind of keep an eye out. They already smell so good. I love this recipe because it's just simple ingredients, but they just taste amazing. This is probably one of my favorite foods. If you've been around a while, you might know that. All right, let's take a quick look at our collards. They've been cooking probably about an hour now, and they're starting to get to that point where I like them. You can see all that country ham in there. These will probably go maybe another 20 to 30 minutes, just depending on, again, how tender you want them. Can't get any easier, and these are so good. Y'all have to let me know if you do your collard greens similar to this at all, or do you add any vinegar types of flavors? I always remember when I was little, anytime we had collard greens, my grandmother didn't necessarily add them to the greens, I don't think, but we always had this little crystal kind of pitcher sitting on our Lazy Susan on our dinner table, and that was specifically for collard greens. We just tried a collard to make sure they were at the tenderness that we like. They're so good, y'all. I don't know what it is about this simple recipe. Y'all gotta give it a try. But I just went ahead and turned them off. You wanna look down in here? We're gonna transfer them into something else. This is just good eating. This is just plain old Southern good eating. Now I need some cornbread and some beans, and that right there, that's a meal.
Instead of cornbread and beans, can we have some corn and...
Yeah, instead of cornbread, we're gonna have some corn
potatoes.
casserole and potatoes. Speaking of, let's get those out of the oven now. Looks so good. All right, let's get these potatoes out. We're gonna give everything a try. Let y'all know what we think. These things look amazing. That looks delicious. Ooh, come over here and get some of this loaded corn casserole. Y'all, does that not look so good? Look at that. Yum, yum, yum. If you need to change up your Easter sides, or just looking for something new in general, I think y'all are gonna be really happy with these. All right, we know our collard greens are good, but let's get some of those on our plate as well. All right, we ready to try it?
Think so.
Well, right us forward. Here you go.
Cheers.
Y'all ready? Let's try the collards first. Make sure you get some of that country ham.
Oh my gosh. This is so good. Tender.
Those are so perfect, honestly. Sometimes simple is best. Sometimes not adding a whole bunch of stuff to things, especially things like fresh collards, you cannot go wrong. I think it's the perfect saltiness in there from the country ham, the butter, that little bit of bacon grease that we used. So good. All right, which one do you want to try next?
I want to try the corn.
All right, going in for the corn. Oh, it's hot and I'm dripping it everywhere.
Oh my god.
Wait on me. Or you can go ahead and talk. Go ahead, go ahead.
I ain't waiting.
It's good?
You can catch up. I gotta get some cheese on it. It's like, it's got that sweet corn flavor to it, but the bacon kind of sets it off.
That's really different. This is not like the Jiffy corn casserole in my opinion at all. It's not as sweet, even though we're using the sweet corn. I can really see how this will be really good for like a summertime barbecue. I was wondering how that one would be. I was excited to try it, but I wasn't quite sure. That's so good. All right.
Absolutely delicious.
Let's try the scalloped potatoes. I think I'm most excited about this because I love cheesy potatoes.
You're a big cheesy
And it's
potato
got,
fan.
yes, and it has onions in there too. Yes, please. Got it?
They're soft. All right, this is gonna be hot.
Yeah.
Look at it steaming. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. That's so good. That is so good.
Y'all.
I think that's the best scalloped potatoes
I think
we've
so
made.
too. Oh my
I
God.
love the addition of the onion with the onion flavor in there. Oh my gosh, you can taste all that seasoning we put on it too. That is so good.
Amazing.
We seriously might have to make these potatoes again on Sunday.
Yeah.
I think our family would love these. All right, y'all, thank you so much for cooking along with us today. I hope that this video gave you some inspiration for some more spring recipes to try. I hope that you all are doing amazing. I hope that you have a happy Easter. Pretty sure we'll see you one more time before then, but if not, I hope you all have a great day with your friends and your family. And remember, while we're celebrating on Sunday, we'll see you real soon.
Hey, we'll see you real soon in the next one.
See you real soon in the next one.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
This is the longest outro ever.
You can go into your meal coming up, and we see.
You can't talk.
And yeah, feel free to let us know.
Yeah.
Here comes Peter Cottontail.
Hopping down the